strangely, it was lifted. And I say strangely because nautical experts say in that sort of condition, with bad weather, with the fact that there was a depression coming and the instruments on board were very avant-garde and sophisticated and could have easily foreseen that. Having the keel partially retracted would not have been a sort of normal situation.
4 bodies have now been found in the search for those missing after the yacht sank off the coast of Sicily. 2 passengers are still missing. Experts have been using remote underwater vehicles to get access to the vehicle that was owned by British IT millionaire Mike Lynch. He's a friend of the former government minister, Lord Deben, John Gummer, who's been speaking to Times Radio Breakfast.
He came back to be ready to start again. He's made such a contribution to Britain. His companies have put British IT in the forefront, and he was going to do it again. And we pray that he can do it again, but he is such an important person. And yet here in Suffolk, which he loved, he was a friend to so many people, never flash, always part of the community.
It's John Gummer there. Let's talk to Alina Trabattoni, who's in Sicily, live on the line. Hello to you, Alina.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm actually not physically in Sicily. I'm just across the strait in Calabria, across the strait from Sicily.
All right, but thank you for joining us. Can you tell us more about this latest discovery, Alina?
Absolutely. I've been following it closely, and what I can say is we have confirmed from the rescue search mission that there are 4 bodies that have been identified. 2 have been brought on land. Another 2 are still in the vessel. The 2 that have been brought on land and recovered are male. And one is a rather large gentleman. So, we don't have identities. There are some reports that Mike Lynch and his daughter have been identified. As far as the official confirmations go, this has not been officialized. So I'd like to stress that. At the moment, what we have officially confirmed from the authorities is that 4 bodies have been identified. I mean, obviously, statistically speaking, there's a high probability it could be them, but it's important to wait for this to be officialized because miracles could always happen.
Yes, well, indeed, that work goes on, but obviously a very sad discovery. Are we getting more accounts of what actually happened on that night, Alina, in that storm, on that boat?
Well, a lot of the survivors have been heard by hospital staff and by psychologists in some instances, particularly the family with a 1-year-old girl. And magistrates will be interrogating them in coming days. But in essence, everything happened very quickly. There was a celebratory dinner, as was common in that week, because it was a celebratory sailing trip that Mike Lynch had organized by inviting all his closest friends and colleagues to celebrate the acquittal of the Hewlett-Packard fraud case that he had been charged with, accused of. And everyone, turned in. Some people were in different parts of the ship, so there may still have been some people awake. And then the boat was hit very hard by bad weather, high waves. And shortly thereafter, a water tornado, water sprout hit it, but hit it so hard that literally in 60 seconds, the boat went down. And the 60 seconds account didn't come from the survivors, but it comes from security cameras of a nearby villa that had been filming the coastline overnight. So it's visible on video. The other theory that is circulating is that the mast was badly hit by lightning, but this has been pretty much debunked because the mast is intact. At least the first 50 meters are intact, so 20 meters of damage would not have caused such a devastating outcome. The other theory that's circulating, and it seems to be partially backed by circumstances in terms of how people got out of the ship, and also by the vessel having some of its upper hatches open, was that water was that the lightning hit the mast, the boat started rocking very quickly, and water went in very quickly and filled up the vessel extremely quickly through these hatches that had been left open. Last but not least, investigators seem to have found the keel partially lifted. Now, very few boats and more commonly sailing boats have retractable keels. The keel is the lower part of the boat, the section that goes below water, and some sailing boats have keels that are like back to front fins that go deep down. And in this specific case, the keel was actually mobile and could be lifted. And strangely, it was lifted. And I say strangely because nautical experts say in that sort of condition, with bad weather, with the fact that there was a depression coming and the instruments on board were very avant-garde and sophisticated and could have easily foreseen that. Having the keel partially retracted would not have been a sort of normal situation. So, but these are all theories and hypotheses. Obviously, both the four UK government investigators and the Italian magistrates will be looking into this very closely. Yes. and trying to determine what happened that night.
Yeah, it'll be up to the investigators now to just try and clear up some of those questions. Alina Trabattoni in Calabria, thank you so much for that update.